Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a Social Security disability attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, and I wanted to answer a question that I got from a potential client the other day who was calling to see whether or not he should file for disability. He hadn't filed yet, based on adult ADD or adult ADHD. And what I had to tell this gentleman is, unfortunately, my experience has not been very good with these kind of claims. I think that judges, for whatever reason, seem to see ADD and ADHD as primarily a disorder for children or teenagers that affects them in school, but doesn't really seem to affect people, as this, from the judge's point of view, doesn't seem to affect people so much in adulthood. And I think the logic is that when you're in school, you're dealing with a lot of different subjects. It requires a lot more organization and attention to detail, as opposed to being in the working world where maybe you have a job, you're doing one or two things and you simply do them over and over and over, that there seems to be a qualitative difference, and that the judges that I've talked to seem to feel that a person who has made it through school and who's got a job should be able to control his or her ADD or ADHD through the type of work he or she does, or through medicine, and just through maturity of getting older. So those cases don't really seem to work as well. I think that what I tell my clients in these situations is that if you've got something else like depression or bipolar disorder that may be going along with the ADD or ADHD, that may be more fruitful, although again, that still becomes difficult, because a lot of times that level of depression arises more from just frustration at difficulty with school or difficulty with social relationships, whereas I find the best cases for when there's depression or bipolar disorder are those where there's been some sort of a childhood trauma, physical or sexual trauma, there's been suicide attempts, things like that. So if the profile is of a person who has worked some but has gone through a lot of different jobs and says, well, I've gone through all these jobs because of my ADD and I'm depressed because of that, but there's no background of trauma, even though I can certainly understand why that would be a situation where you might feel you're disabled. What unfortunately I got to tell you is that judges don't seem to see it that way. They seem to feel that folks who are dealing with ADD or ADHD, yes, they may have gone through a lot of different jobs, but judges don't seem to feel that rises to the level of disability. So I'm not saying it could never happen. What I'm telling you is that my experience, whenever I tried to make that argument based on ADD or ADHD, just doesn't go very far. Judges just haven't. I don't think I've won a single case like that. So I really don't take those, because I just don't think that they're viable, unfortunately. So again, I think if you are dealing with ADD or ADHD, you probably need to have something else going on, and real strong support from a treating psychiatrist, psychologist. But even in situations where you may have had 15 or 20 different jobs in the course of 2 or 3 years, you would think that would be enough, but in my experience, it just really hasn't been. So unfortunately, my experience has been, again, that ADD, ADHD cases for adults just have not really been fruitful in terms of getting approvals. And so unfortunately, I don't take a lot of those cases, because I just don't think that they're winners. If you had a different experience, I'd like to hear about it. Any questions about the disability process, please let me know. And certainly if you're dealing with this and you want to try, I'm not telling you not to try, but just be aware you're going in with an uphill battle. Hope this has been helpful. Again, my name is Jonathan Ginsberg, and any questions, again, feel free to let me know. Thanks a lot.